History is not just a list of names and dates, it's a story. A story about us. It's a tapestry woven with the threads of countless lives, each contributing to the grand narrative of humanity. Every event, every decision, every action taken by those who came before us has led us to where we are today. And like any good story, it has its big moments, moments that change everything. These are the turning points, the instances where the course of history shifts, sometimes in the blink of an eye. They are the moments that define eras, that mark the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Think about the invention of the printing press. Before this revolutionary invention, knowledge was a privilege of the few. Books were painstakingly copied by hand, making them rare and expensive, but with the printing press, information became accessible to the masses, igniting the flames of the Renaissance and the Reformation. Or the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This bold act of defiance against tyranny laid the foundation for a new nation, one built on the principles of liberty and justice. It was a moment that resonated around the world, inspiring countless others to fight for their own freedom. These moments, however big or small, shape who we are. They are the milestones that mark our journey through time, the events that define our collective identity. Each one leaves an indelible mark on the fabric of history, influencing the generations that follow. One such moment happened on July 16, 1945, at 5:29 a.m. It was a moment that would forever alter the course of human history. A moment that heralded the dawn of a new and terrifying era. It wasn't a battle or a speech. There were no crowds, no fanfare, just a handful of scientists and military personnel gathered in the desolate New Mexico desert waiting with bated breath. It was something far stranger and far more terrifying, the world's first atomic bomb test. The culmination of years of research and development, this test was a leap into the unknown, a step into a future fraught with both promise and peril. In the middle of the New Mexico desert, a countdown echoed. The tension was palpable, the air thick with anticipation and fear. As the seconds ticked away, the world held its breath, teetering on the brink of a new reality. And in 10 short minutes, our world changed forever. The explosion that followed was more than just a display of power. It was a harbinger of the atomic age, a stark reminder of the destructive potential of human ingenuity. From that moment on, the shadow of the bomb would loom large over the world, shaping the course of history in ways we are still grappling with today. The story begins in the secrecy of the Second World War. In the midst of global conflict, nations were not only fighting on the battlefields, but also in the shadows, where secret operations and covert missions were the order of the day. The United States, racing against Nazi Germany, was developing a new kind of weapon. This was a race against time, a race to harness the power of the atom before the enemy could. The stakes were unimaginably high, and the pressure on the scientists was immense. A weapon of unimaginable power. The concept of splitting the atom to release a colossal amount of energy was both revolutionary and terrifying. The scientists knew that if they succeeded, they would change the course of history forever. This weapon was the atomic bomb, born from the groundbreaking work of the Manhattan Project. The project brought together some of the greatest minds of the time, including many who had fled the horrors of war in Europe. Deep in the New Mexico desert, a team of scientists prepared for the first test. The location was chosen for its isolation, far from prying eyes and potential spies. The desert's vast emptiness provided the perfect backdrop for this monumental experiment. Codenamed Trinity, the test was set for the pre-dawn hours to maintain secrecy. The early morning darkness would help conceal the preparations and the test itself, adding another layer of security to this highly classified operation. The scientists, many of whom were refugees from war-torn Europe, understood the gravity of what they were about to unleash. They had left behind their homes and families, driven by the hope that their work would help end the war. The countdown began. Each tick of the clock brought a mixture of anticipation and dread. The air was thick with tension as the seconds slipped away. They knew that in a matter of moments the world would witness a force unlike anything it had ever seen before. The silent countdown continued, marking the final moments before history would be irrevocably altered. At 5:29 a.m., on July 16, 1945, in the remote deserts of New Mexico, the world entered the atomic age with the detonation of the first nuclear bomb. The device, nicknamed the Gadget, was a culmination of years of intense research and development under the top-secret Manhattan Project. When it detonated, it unleashed the force equivalent to 20,000 tons of TNT, a power that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. A blinding flash lit up the desert sky, brighter than 1,000 suns, momentarily turning night into day. A massive mushroom cloud climbed miles into the air, casting an eerie glow on the stunned observers miles away. The sheer scale of the explosion was beyond anything humanity had ever witnessed. The heat from the blast could be felt even at that distance, a searing reminder of the bomb's destructive power. The ground shook violently as if a giant had slammed its fist into the earth, leaving a lasting impression on all who were present. The test was deemed a success, marking a pivotal moment in history, but it also raised profound questions about the future. The landscape was left scarred, a stark reminder of the destructive potential of human ingenuity. The dawn of the atomic age brought with it not just a new era of scientific achievement, but also a sobering awareness of the immense responsibilities and ethical dilemmas that come with such power. As the dust settled, the world stood on the brink of a new and uncertain future, forever changed by the events of that early morning in the desert. The immediate aftermath was nothing short of apocalyptic. The heat from the blast vaporized everything near the epicenter, leaving behind a crater of radioactive glass. The shockwave flattened structures miles away, a stark testament to the bomb's raw power. The scientists who had dedicated years to this moment watched in awe and horror. They had unleashed a power that could end civilization as they knew it. The world would never be the same. Section 5, The World in Shock. News of the Trinity test remained secret for weeks. But when the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, the world finally understood the devastating power humanity now possessed. The devastation was unimaginable, the loss of life catastrophic. The world reacted with a mixture of awe and terror. The atomic bomb was not just a weapon, it was a symbol of a terrifying new era, an era where humanity had the power to destroy itself. Section 6, A New World Order. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki brought a swift end to World War II, but they also marked the beginning of the Cold War, a decades-long standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both superpowers raced to build bigger and more powerful bombs, holding the world hostage in a terrifying nuclear stalemate. The threat of nuclear war loomed large over the world, shaping international relations, politics, and culture. The fear of annihilation permeated every aspect of life, from international diplomacy to backyard bomb shelters. Section 7, The Shadow of the Bomb. The legacy of the atomic bomb extends far beyond the Cold War. It continues to influence global politics and raise ethical questions about the use of such destructive power. The threat of nuclear terrorism remains a constant worry, a chilling reminder of the bomb's destructive potential. The world has learned to live with the bomb, but its shadow lingers. The 10 minutes in the New Mexico desert changed everything, forcing humanity to confront its capacity for both incredible creation and unimaginable destruction. Section 8, Living with the Consequences. The atomic bomb didn't just change wars, it changed us. We built bomb shelters. We practiced duck and cover drills in school. The fear of nuclear annihilation was a constant companion, but the bomb also sparked something else. A global peace movement. People from all walks of life marched for disarmament, demanding a world free from the threat of nuclear war. Section 9. A moment frozen in time. The 10 minutes starting at 5:29 a.m. on July 16, 1945, were a turning point in human history. The world we knew vanished in a blinding flash, replaced by a new and uncertain reality. The atomic bomb, a product of human ingenuity, became a stark reminder of our own destructive potential. As we move further away from that fateful day, the lessons of Trinity remain as relevant as ever. We must strive for a future where such devastating power is never unleashed again. The clock is still ticking.